Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're checking out a Rocktool model here. This is the Gen R Lite. Now we checked out the Gen R in the channel before and you'll see it later in this video, but this one is the Lite, and I'm assuming it's because it's more simplified, right? More lightweight, a little bit more compact. So let's go ahead and get in here, see what this one's all about. Of course, I'll have this one and every other product you see in this video linked down below so you guys can check out prices, availability, and variants. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you and at zero extra cost. Now, we got the user manual, Gen R Lite series, right? We'll come back to this one and make sure we don't miss any of the features. We have check this out. We got a leather little pouch here, carry solution. A nice little leather slip, if you would. We got the Rocktool stamped or embossed into the leather right there. And it's got a nice little loop back here for, say, your belt or what have you. Very nice and tastefully done. Even has a little hole right here as well. If you want to attach it to anything, you absolutely can. So looks nice, looks tasteful, and we'll come back to that in a moment once we get this guy here unboxed. Let's see what this one here is all about. All right. First things first. It looks like the looks like we have a Phillips and a glass breaker on this one. That's interesting. And it was a little bit loose. So actually, as a matter of fact, why don't we make that the first feature that we check out? Right. So obviously we have a this guy also came out as well. I'm assuming we have a smaller, fine flat head and a Phillips head as well. So we'll take a look at that. Flat head on this side and Phillips head on this side. So here we go. I'm sure there's a place for this guy. We'll come back to him in just a moment, but this one's very straightforward here, right? As far as Phillips head bit here and what I'm assuming is a glass breaker, right? We'll find out checking the user manual here in a moment. I'm gonna leave it at the Phillips head for now. I'm assuming there's a flat head of some sort elsewhere. And then this one is a locking driver, so I'm going to go ahead and try to unlock. Here we go. I'm assuming pushing down or pressing down here. No, that is actually not the way to unlock this one. Oh, okay, there we go. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a slip joint. So it doesn't have a dedicated unlock button. It would just kind of lock under tension, but not quite. You can easily just push it and fold it back in. Also kind of digging the whole stonewash look to it. It has a little bit of a worn feel to it. It's black with a little bit of a stonewash sort of going on. Right, so that way you don't have to worry about it getting scratched already and whatnot, because it already comes with that finish. So we'll start here with the basics. We have a good old blade on this side. I want to say how difficult, how challenging is it to do it one-handed? Well, I want to say maybe just getting that initial grip there. But there we go. It is a locking VG10 blade. It's going to be somewhat of a, sheep's foot blade, drop point blade or so. You guys be the judge there. VG10. Not a bad steel for a multi-tool like this one. It is a locking blade, such as FYI for my friends across the pond. And yes, as easy and as simple as pushing down on this little lock icon, kind of like a liner lock. Push down, right? Push on the liner lock, and then just fold the blade. Now it's going to be on washers, no ball bearings here, so really slow roll is mostly the only way to get this one deployed. And then you fold it, right? Maybe two-handed like that. On the opposite side, looks like we have good old pair of scissors, right? Check that out. These are going to be locking scissors, but they have to be open in order to lock, just like that. And this little bar right here is going to give you the spring tension, right? So when you're cutting, it kind of opens on its own like that. This little folded portion right here is also going to make it comfortable on hand when cutting. All right, check that out. It's interesting because I was on vacation here for about a week or so, and we kind of were doing a project where we needed scissors, and we only had one full pair of scissors, and I had two multi-tools with scissors on it, and that's how we were able to save the day. So kind of divided the load amongst me and a few other folks, and everybody has scissors, and yeah, things worked out pretty good. So you'll be surprised how handy these come on in a pinch. So that's nice to have, and they are nice and locked. Then we will go ahead and unlock the liner, same similar fashion as before, and they kind of stay close, right, when you fold them, so that's nice as well. Tuck them back in, that's pretty neat. And then we have a whole set of tools inside of here, which, by the way, now that we're here, we got centimeters and inches on this side, 0 to 8 centimeters, or 1 to 3 and change inches on this other side. So that's not bad, definitely nice to have. We have a little bit of a nail neck here to pull out some tools. There we go. That's a good way to pull everything out at once. And let's see what we have, right? First things first, we have looks like a file here, right? Kind of like a file, diamond and cross pattern on the other side. This is your flat head right here. So that definitely takes care of the flat head screwdriver. By the way, these all lock back here, but because I have them all out at the same time, that's why it's not locking. So I want to show you one at a time first. As a matter of fact, even though this could be a flathead or smaller flathead, we have a dedicated flathead here we're going to come to or check out in a second. I'm going to fold this one in. For now, we have an awl tool, right? If you're familiar with an awl tool, right, kind of has the needle hole, right? From what I understand, for leather workers, right, it's a good way to puncture or open a hole in the leather, right? I'm not an expert, so that's just my limited knowledge right there. I'm going to fold this one back in as well. It looks like we have, ooh, is this one of the, I think this might be, there we go, the precision one. There it is for this tiny little guy. Okay, so if we want to get precise with it, we have this little guy here with the flat head. You can turn it around with this tiny little hole there, and then use either a Phillips head or a flat head in a pinch. So that is nice. Dig in that. I just want to put it in a way. Oh, there it is. All right, so this spring right here is going to hold it under tension if you push it all the way in. There we go. All right, shouldn't go anywhere unless you put some force to get it out. So that's nice. We're going to fold this one in. We have now, you know, somewhat of a flathead or pry bar going on there as well, a bigger flathead. And last but not least, we have that can opener or bottle opener on there as well. This one can be used, and by the way, it's now just locked. So once you have one tool out, it will lock. So the only way to unlock it is pushing down on here, and then you can fold it. This is a wire cutter right here. So if you have a wire and you trap it with the handle itself right there and just run the wire, it will strip the wire. So it's a wire stripper as well. So I think that is pretty much everything on here. Let's double check, make sure we didn't miss anything. We got the knife, we got the scissors, back lock, can and bottle opener, the wire stripper, just talked about that. A number 6, just talked about that. A number 6 slotted screwdriver, a 1.5 slotted Phillips head screwdriver, an awl tool, wood and metal file, talked about that. A number 3 or 3 number screwdriver, a ruler, glass breaker, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was definitely a glass breaker, and a PH1 screwdriver or Phillips, and liner lock. Okay, so that's pretty much all the features. Let me see if I'm missing anything. This just gives you a diagram of how everything works pretty much, which obviously we went through together here. But honestly, not bad at all. Now check this out, right? The neat thing is you can then fold this guy. Well, actually, it's going to be much slimmer than any other multi-tool because it's basically half of the handle, right? You typically have 2 handles. If it's a plier-based multi-tool, it's going to be about twice the width on this one. And you are giving away a few other tools, right? Like the serrated blade or a saw. Right? It really depends how much you really use those. But if you're trying to slim down, kind of bring it down to the bare bones basic tools that you most need or you will need, right? And taking away some of the other ones that you may not need. I feel like this guy definitely does a good job there, right? Now it's nice and folded in its own leather pouch here or slip. And actually it's a very snug fit, right? Take a look at that. Very nice and tastefully done. Nice little buckle button right there. Nice good tension to it. Easy to disengage, but stiff enough to stay where it's supposed to, unless you want to take it off your belt, right? Now, for reference, here is the Gen R from Rocktool, right? You can see it's almost as if you took just the one handle, obviously minus the pliers and everything, and you still are getting everything else, right? Except, you know, on this hand now you have a screwdriver holder or bit holder. There's your ruler, right? There's all the tools, the actual blade, right, which is VG10 as well, and the scissors on this side. So it's almost like using this one handle alone and you minus everything else on this side. So, you know, it really depends, right, what you got going on, right? Maybe you do use a saw more often. Maybe you do use a serrator blade with a gut hook more often, right? Those are some additional features you get with the actual, you know, full-blown, and of course, you know, the pliers themselves, right? Wire cutting, fine needle nose, and regular pliers and whatnot. So it's obviously a more robust, heavy-duty multi-tool, but, you know, you can check out the width difference right here, right? Putting them side by side. Also, did I notice a pocket clip on this one? There is not. That's why you get the carry slip to go along with it. But you can see, you know, size-wise right there next to each other. Maybe I put them like this. There we go. right? That's more like it. You know, again, half or about half or so of the width, and you're still getting, what are we saying here? Maybe 80% of the tools, 75, 80%. Is that fair, right? That's not bad. And in most cases, right, you may come down to using what's in here. The main question is, do you need pliers? Obviously, that's a very important question to ask. If you need pliers, obviously the answer is the actual Gen R. But if you don't need the pliers and a few other things, then obviously this one might be a more lightweight option. If you're really looking into that. Now, if you don't mind the lightweightness and you're already carrying a full-size multi-tool, then that's perfectly fine. But at least the option is there, and they thought about it. Don't really see this being done too much with the major multi-tool brands out there. At least not that I know of. If you know, definitely let me know in the comments what other models, models, brands do I need to check out to see something similar. But this is a first for me, and I think they're doing a pretty good job. Even down to this detail here, whatever this hole here is for, that's exactly what you got going on right there. So I thought that was pretty funny. So there you have it. Just a quick size comparison there to the OG Gen R. And a quick size comparison next to some other everyday, smaller form factor multi-tools. We have the NexTool E1, Roxon KS2 Elite, the NexTool Mini Sailor, and the BIBURY Mini Multi-Tool. Right, those are all going to be very small form factor. You can sort of see this guy's probably the slimmest option, but also a little bit longer in length. And on the larger end of the spectrum, right, the more heavy-duty multi-tool with pliers, we have the Rocktol Gen R, which is, again, the OG companion compared to the Lite. We have the BIBURY multi-tool here, Roxon Phantom, the, of course, USA-made Leatherman FREE P4, and the NexTool Flagship Pro. Again, content on all these multi-tools here on the channel. If you want to learn more, just put the multi-tool name Miguel EDC on the search box and you'll find those videos right away. And I have links to all these down below as well. If you guys want to check out prices, availability, and variants, check out those links. Those do help out the channel at zero extra cost to you. Of course, you already know it wouldn't be a Miguel EDC video if we don't do a nice little cutting test on this VG10 blade. So I got some paper right here. Let's see how it does. Okay, biting into the paper right away. Getting some good cuts. Bam, boom. Now, if you're trying to get more performance, obviously you're probably going to carry a dedicated knife for cutting tasks. However, having a nice backup edge right here on the slim multi-tool like this one, that's not bad at all. I got a single wall piece of cardboard right here, cutting at a diagonal angle for better performance. It's going to look something like this. Here we go. Oh, wow. I'm not gonna lie, that is actually pretty slim, guys. That is actually, I meant to say pretty slicey. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Mixing my words together. The blade itself is pretty slim. That's what I meant. And it's actually pretty slicey. So, yeah, surprise, surprise. I was expecting it to cut, but I was not expecting it to cut cardboard that well. So, we know it definitely has that going for it, guys. Rate this thing in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. 10 being the sharpest out of the box, right? Factory edge. You all let me know. Now let's get some measurements here as if it were a knife, even though of course it's a knife, and then a few more things. So let's see, overall length with the knife blade open, right? Looking at 7 inches. Think like Civivi Elementum, Kershaw Leak, right? 3-inch blade with a, you know, a little bit over 2.5, but under 2.25. So we're looking at maybe 2.6, 2.7 on the cutting path. And the handle is going to be 4 inches, right? So folded and everything is going to be 4 inches long, and it's going to be about, we can get a good reading right here, maybe 1/2 inch, a little bit over 1/2 inch wide, right? Not too bad. And then from here, we're looking at definitely 3/4 inch. Now, when I was getting my words all mixed up, right? Let's find out how slim it is. It's actually 0.09, right? That's what I meant to say. It's actually pretty slicey because of how slim it is. The average in the channel being 0.12, so that gives you an idea there, right? Why it performs so well, even being BG10 as a steel. And getting a quick weight on this bad boy. And I'm gonna fold it here real quick. And let's see, I want to say, I mean, there's a lot of stainless steel going on here, but it doesn't feel all that heavy, I'll tell you that. So I'm gonna roll with three, somewhere between 3 and let's go 3.5 to 4. 3.5 to 4. Ooh, how about a little bit more than that? 4.5 ounces or 128 grams, right? Not bad. Again, you know, you're getting quite a good number of tools in one place. So 4.5 ounces is not bad at all. So for reference, here's the OG Gen R with pliers and everything. It's going to put you at 9.7 ounces or 276 grams. So that's the big difference right there, right? Almost 10 ounces versus under half of that, 4.5, not even 5 ounces. So definitely something to consider there. So yeah, not too heavy, not too light. Definitely a very interesting trade-off, right? So again, if you already know you're going to be using the pliers, right, that's the answer there. The Rocktol Gen R or any other full size, or even, you know, the smaller, more carryable multi-tools that have a plier. But if you don't need pliers and you do use a blade pretty often, again, this one I feel like it's easier to do it two-handed, right? Yeah, you got the blade here, quite the cutting path, and then you have a few other things. Scissors are pretty good, right? The other tools, bit drivers, right? Measurements and whatnot, pretty slim, and you know, slick here, right? As far as the carry pouch goes, that looks pretty good as well, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Rocktool Gen R Lite, right? How it stacks up with the OG Gen R. Have you checked out Rocktools before? If you have, let me know your experience in the comment section below. And let me know your thoughts on this one. What do you all like about it, love about it? Is there anything you dislike about it? Let me know. Let's hang out in the comment section down below. And of course, again, these are all linked down below if you guys want to check out prices, availability, and variants. Definitely check those links. I'll try to link to as many different sites you can pick one up in case you're watching this video in the future. Hopefully, there'll be stock in all these different places. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one, either this one or this one. Peace.